Had to do a quick turnaround. I was about 2 minutes out from the house, and then I realized I don't have my headphones in my ears. Now that wouldn't be like a complete fucking deal breaker or anything, but if I've got the choice, I mean, well, it's not like you saw it, but I turned this mofo around. But plan for today: arms, tries, buys, and I think I'm gonna make it a superset kind of lift. So set of triceps, followed by a set of biceps, followed by a set of triceps, back and forth, back and forth. I'm not gonna do like, well, actually, maybe I will. Hmm. Mm, yeah, I'll think about it. So when I do an alternating kind of arm day like that, usually I'm gonna be more inclined to just do a full set of triceps, sit and rest for a little bit, and then do a full set of biceps, sit and rest for a minute, then do a full set of triceps like that. But I've also done it where every set ends up being a superset. So, I'll do like a set of heavy pushdowns or whatever, and then without rest, immediately jump into a set of some kind of curls or something. So there's no rest period in between. It just ends up being kind of a bigger set. What kind of turns me off to that though is, what happens if I tire myself out from doing a set of tricep pushdowns, and it's going to affect my strength during the subsequent set of curls. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. And when it comes to doing arm days like that or two muscle groups, I feel like there's kind of two thought processes, which sometimes I like one. Usually I kind of like just finishing triceps on its own completely, knowing that I wrecked it and then moving on to biceps. But sometimes doing both at once is cool too. It just changes it up. Just changes it up a little bit. But regular lifts is normal. Light squeezing, rope pushdowns, bent over overhead rope extensions, dip machine, heavy pushdowns. The basics, honestly. And I'm really liking the overhead, the kind of bent over overhead cable extensions. Those are a new staple of the tricep days. And then biceps, even simpler, man. You don't have to do any kind of fancy overhead, this, that, or the other with the cables to get a good bicep pump. I've had lifts where I didn't want to move from the dumbbell rack, just doing straight dumbbell curls the whole time. If it works, I feel. And even though there is definitely merit in trying to say, like, okay, I want to really focus on like the peak, and I want to really like squeeze my, oh, fuck, what is this one? Brachialis. If you ever see, if you ever watching like a bodybuilder pose and they're flexing a side chest or like a back double bi, there's this little chunk of muscle in between their bicep and their tricep right on the outside, the brachialis, as it were. So I mean, yeah, some curls I am gonna feel that a little bit more. Like if I'm doing, let's say I'm doing curls with two long D handles, and as I curl up, I'm also like pulling my hands outward. Then yeah, I might feel that a little bit. But don't get too caught up in thinking like, okay, I need to do two curls for the short head of my bicep and two different kinds of curls for the long head. Oh, and then I gotta just work my brachialis directly. It's like, no man. As long as you're doing heavy curls and you switch it up between a couple of different movements so that you're at least hitting it from all angles, don't stress too much. But what I wanted to say before we actually get started, and this is being targeted towards my younger demographic, more teenager, whatnot. And it's a dilemma which I hadn't really thought of before, but now I'd say it's probably more prevalent than ever. It's okay. Should I keep playing high school football or should I quit and just be a full on lifter? What should I do? Because, I mean, if you're interested in both, then a lot of the times, at least it depends on the sport, but especially with something heavy where you're actually going to be doing like strength specific training. Like if you're doing football, they're going to have you in there doing like football, weight sessions with the whole team or whatever other sport you're fucking doing. So when you look at it like that, I mean, somebody's going to start to think like, oh, geez, this football shit's getting in the way of my lifting. What the fuck? Which I can understand. I can definitely fucking wrap my head around it. But if that's you, if you're on the fritz, it's like, oh, jeez, I don't know. Should I do one more year of wrestling? Or should I just give it up and really lock into working out? And I kind of feel like that's a silly question, man. It's, you can do both. I mean, I wasn't doing anything crazy strength specific, but throughout all high school and then my first year at college, I was doing diving. And I was up there. I was getting pretty big. I mean, a 200-pound lean, nearly 6-foot character on a diving board often sticks out. I mean, I was for my sports demographic, I was definitely a little bit of an outlier. But no, I don't think you should give that up, man. You're only gonna be. I mean, you got to remember, you're only gonna be able to do whatever high school sports you're doing is while you're that age. You got the rest of your fucking life to be seriously working out. And not to say you shouldn't work out now. That's not the sentiment I'm getting at. But I don't think I don't think that's what most people should do. So if you're on the edge, I don't think that's an issue of, okay, should I completely quit this one or should I completely lock into this one? I think there's an even mix of balance for sure. Now, it might be a chore. I mean, you're going to have to lock in a little bit because if you've got I mean, if right after school you've got like a 30-minute drive to the pool, and then you've got like a 2.5 hour diving practice, and then you got a 30-minute drive back. I mean, that's a 3 hour chunk of your fucking day. And if back when I was in school, I mean, you're gone from you're out there from what, like 7 to 2:30 ish. You don't have a crazy amount of free time. So if you got a sport that's already taken 3 hours out of your afternoon, then yeah, adding your own kind of personal workout into that could be a little bit tricky. But I think it's worth trying to balance because I'm not joking. You're not going to be where you're at forever, so fucking make use of it. And then it, you can balance it. So one of my buddies, Maverick, was asking me that because his cousin was like, I think he said he was in football. And he was like, oh, should I totally quit and just really start focusing on the working out? I'd say 9 times out of 10, try to balance them both. You won't have too much trouble. It will be kind of tricky because now you're really setting aside a pretty big chunk of time to try to grind at two things at once. But as long as you can manage it, I think it's worth trying to balance. So that's my take there. If anybody's in that situation, get your next season in. Try to get try to get your what's the word here? Try to get your yards in. You know what I'm saying? So that's my shtick. That's my fucking shtick there. If that's your mental dilemma at the moment. But I got nothing else to say. But let's get in there and start this arm day. All right. So I've picked the routine. I decided I didn't want to do just all tries and all buys, but I also didn't want to do a set of triceps followed immediately by a set of biceps, like back and forth, just like that. So I think a little bit of a medium is I'll go back and forth in sets of two. So 2 sets of triceps, then move on, do 2 sets of biceps, back and forth, back and forth. And then at the end of it, I think I'm definitely going to do just an actual superset or even just back and forth, like 5 reps of a push down, 5 reps of a curl, and kind of go like that just to totally fucking pump up my arms. But I like this. It's 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 a little counterintuitive to what my thought process usually is because I feel like sometimes I only want to give whatever muscle I'm training enough time in between sets to recover and then hit it as soon as it's ready. But with a lift like this, I'm giving my triceps 2 sets of curls worth of rest before coming back to them. So all that really tells me is I shouldn't leave anything in the tank because they're going to get extra rest in between every 2 sets. So moderate weight rope pushdowns, a bit heavier than normal. I mean, I am fresh and strong, so a touch less than the stack, but still controlled squeezing everything. So I think 2 of these and then move on to some heavy dumbbell curls. That should be a nice opener. Yeah, I get stack. I'm not done. Let's make this a little rest pause. Get 2 or 3 more. No. Okay. All right. One more like that. No. 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 Okay. Holy crap. All right. That's a perfect 2 openers. Let's get some curls started. Oh, man. Oh. That was way too fucking heavy. Let's do this. Let's do the 65s next. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. All right. Back to push downs. So, I'm not sure if you've ever ran into this issue, but it's not super fun. So, what's going to happen is if you add too much weight to the side of a stack like this to make it heavier, what it's going to do, since it's like off axis, is it puts a whole torque on the whole fucking system. So, it doesn't want to slide smoothly. So, 1 plate's fine, but I tried 2, and 2 is just fucking like grinding all over the place. Like, it didn't feel very smooth. So, let's just do 1 reasonably controlled tempo set. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get some curls going again. All right. So I was going to do this set with dumbbells, but I decided it might feel a little bit better on this machine. So these will be 5 rep alternating sets. So 5 reps on the right side, 5 on the left. And I'm not trying to do insane weight. Like I'm not going to try to throw the whole stack around. These reps are more so for sort of a gradual accrual of damage. So almost the complete opposite of like those 2 heavy sets of curls that the lift started with. Like that was maximize the fucking fatigue from every rep by having so much weight. Whereas this, I mean, these reps are going to be very manageable, but over time, I'm going to get gradually more fucking fatigued and burning until I can't really do any meaningful range of motion. So kind of the 2 sides of the spectrum in terms of set style. Oh. Okay. One more like that. A little heavier though. I think I underestimated my strength. 50% push downs, 50% dips. Let's flip the dice on this one to find out. Yeah. After one feeler rep, this is going to be a nasty set of dips. And it's kind of hard to explain or imagine if you haven't actually done it. But when you get big enough and you start to get a complete arm pump, tries and buys pumped at the same time. Plus, I mean, my forearms are going a little bit too. So this whole area has got extra blood flow and kind of a swollenness to it more than normal. And what'll happen is you don't notice anything crazy on the curl side of things. Like curls don't suddenly feel insane if your triceps are pumped. But any tricep movement fucking does. Because what's happening now on these dips is as I get to the top of the fucking range of motion, my arms are literally running into themselves and kind of acting as like a little bit of a cushion. So it's almost like I'm getting self-assistance at the top of fucking every rep. And something about the fucking sort of tension that I'm actually feeling, it's fucking wild. But all that to say, these feel pretty fucking cool. So lightweight, not even the whole stack, and I'm really gonna focus on this bottom part. Like the top part, whatever. I'm gonna be able to move the weight. I mean, if I was just trying to move the weight, I mean, I don't know how many times I could do this. Fucking 30 times at least. But I'm gonna be a bit more fucking controlled. Really hard squeeze to the bottom. And then kind of use the stretch position, not only to get a good stretch with tension, but it kind of feels like you're opening up all your fucking fibers. And then when you flex, you're like swelling them up extra. It's like, well, I'm making a lot of just little feeler kind of soundy movements. But if you're a hardcore lifter, you know what I mean. You speak in my language. Come on. Yeah. 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 Stack on this one. Hopefully that drops that. Okay. All right. Back to curls. All right. Let's grab the 90-pound easy bar curl, and I'm going to repeat basically the exact same set style that I did last arm day. So very controlled, very slow. I'm talking like almost, well, probably not a whole second, but a good pause on the top. Very slow, controlled reps, no swinging, no nothing. Perfect form, I might even say. And once I reach a point where I can't really get anywhere meaningfully past like here without a little bit of oomph, then that's my cue, kicking in gear, use a little bit of swinging, and get a couple of extra reps to burn out. And that's kind of a point of contention. I mean, you know, some guy's going to say, well, if you hit perfect failure with your perfect form, then you've done as much as that muscle can do. But I'm literally going to be able to do 5 extra burnout reps, which are going to raise the intensity. I don't even know how many levels, at least 2. So in my mind, if I can do that, I probably should. Now, is that the perfect method of training? Who's to say? Maybe I should sit here and only do 5 reps and not even get a pump, but I'm not so certain about that. So let's get amped up and throw the shit around. Oh my god. I think let's do a try by superset, and that'll be all she fucking wrote. So here's the plan. Here's the plan, which in my mind is not a bad approach to completely fucking inflating my arms up. So tricep pushdowns, pretty fucking basic. And then immediately pop a squat as so, and do some bicep bias underhand pull downs. A little tricky, a little bit tricky. I'm not trying to use my lats, not trying to use my traps. I'm really just trying to fucking flex my bicep to move the weight towards me. So I may have to actually no, yeah. So I might have to drop the weight as this set progresses, but this should be nasty. Yeah. No. No. Okay. No. 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 Okay. No. No. Okay. Oh my god. All right. Let's find some lighting. There we go. All right. So arms complete in a super setting fucking fashion, and they're pumped. I'm talking. There's no chance I'm gonna have any finger to shoulder contact, which is always a good sign. Always a good sign that some kind of pumpage has been accomplished. But no point talking about it when we can just view it for ourselves. Oh. Even just reaching to grab the collar of my shirt is starting to get a little bit troublesome. I'm not to the point where I need someone to help me remove the pump cover, but eventually, give me time. Just give me some time to get there. So let's run through some classics here. Fucking feeling reasonably beefy. See if I can get right in the middle. Yeah, there we go. Oh, now that's really emphasizing the fucking arm mass. Get back up in the position here. Oh, holy crap, dude. Yeah. Arms are wrecked. I like the superset kind of fashion. Something about getting an insane amount of blood in this whole little area definitely does something. But I think the plan now is go home, chow down, go to sleep. Perfect end to a fucking badass lift. There we go. Arms complete to a pretty damn high level of satisfaction for me. So now I get to go home a fucking winner, at least in the context of you know, of working out. Which, since it's kind of like my fucking thing, that's fucking W. So it's oh crap, man, I'm going fucking crazy in here. There we go. The AC was going wild. Nah, but what I meant to say, what I fucking meant to say there was arms complete. So now I get to go home, chat down, and kind of just fucking chill. I may be getting ahead of myself here. But I would like to think that there's some fucking, some future freaks watching this video right now, early in the fucking making. And, fast forward however long, somebody's gonna fucking pop out of the woodworks, roll up on my phone, and I'm gonna say, holy crap, look at this guy, you know? So that's kind of how I feel with a couple characters. I mean, I sometimes I kind of forget. Like once oh, this little rabbit running along. But once you're kind of a fitness character, I mean, how many big dog characters are there now? I mean, it's got to be close to 100 at least. I'm talking not even just like the hardcore bodybuilder guys, but also powerlifter, even just kind of the lifter posting videos on everywhere else in general. Once you start kind of getting some traction there, you're kind of just fucking around. And I don't, not fucking around, but you're just like, you know, you're kind of in the realm of this sort of space. So, there's guys where fucking before I was even starting to work out, they've been posting videos for like 5 years even before then. So that's kind of fun for me to think because when I'm giving all this little advice and tips and stuff, a lot of it I'm trying to say coming from a place of like what would I want to hear when I was starting out or when I'm, you know, I'd say maybe on my uptick lifting wise, right? Talking about the cardio, actually getting your meals down, training hard, not doing too much volume, really condensing your training into a very high intensity, like high effort fucking hour and a half of time, then going home and maximizing your recovery. Not taking it too seriously. Don't get too wrapped up in your mind of like, oh crap, I just started bulking and now I've already lost my abs. Fuck. Or like, oh, I just started dieting down. Oh, I'm losing my strength. Oh my goodness. In a lot of ways, I feel like I'm trying to like it's almost not like I'm talking to you. It's like I'm talking to me in the past, trying to you know, correct myself from uh from the future. So it's just kind of fun because I wonder if everybody else kind of thought that way when they were posting about shit, you know. But I guess that's something I can ask him a little bit once we start branching out, traveling around, meeting up with some characters. But mm, so what else is uh what else is up with you? You're For me, I feel like right now I'm in a reasonably chill period of time. I'm just about in the thick of it, bulking wise, but it's only been 2 months. I'm not really at a point where I feel like I'm seriously like fucking dying putting down all this food. So these are the good times. These are what I would call the good times. Getting the training done, getting the food down, getting the rest in, making sure I'm staying nice and well hydrated. Yeah, not a problem. And that's something where I've had to take that into consideration. And if you look at your kind of year, monthly, kind of seasonal sort of schedule, it's something to it's something to fucking think about. I try to like you shouldn't have to do this, but summertime, if you want to be outside running around, fucking doing all sorts of whatever kind of activities, hit the beach, hit the whatever. It is nice to be dieting and trying to lean down, not only because you'll fucking be leaner, but also, you'll have more free time. I'm not sure how serious you guys are about it, but if you actually want to make legitimate like fat loss progress or like muscle gaining, weight changes to your build, it's not a passive activity. It does require some fucking effort on the back burner. It's like when you pull up the task manager on your fucking computer, you know, the dieting portion of things should always be taking up at least 5-10% of your fucking of your power, because you always got to be kind of watching that kind of stuff. But not so much that it's like insane. It is it is a part. It is a pretty crucial part of this fucking equation. So what I'm trying to say there is, if you ever actually really get into it and you're tracking everything and you're like putting it on the food scale and you're making sure you're staying under certain calorie limits or hitting certain calorie goals if you want to gain weight, then you kind of realize like, oh shit, if I'm trying to bulk up, I don't want to be running around all day, because I'm like, okay, it's already noon. I've had 2,000 calories so far. I got to get at least another 800 or so right now if I want to kind of stay on track for the entire day. It's a bit of a chore. It's kind of something you're always going to be dealing with. So if you know you're ever going to be extra busy, or you want to have kind of extra sort of free time, so do whatever you want, then dieting is so much easier. And honestly, it makes dieting as a whole easier, because you're not sitting around with fucking idle hands. Right? As I'm sure we're all aware, idle fucking hands are the I was trying to find some way to like correlate that to the gym, but it's the chumps playthings. So if you're just sitting at the house doing nothing and you're trying to diet down, odds are, as we all do, let's check the pantry. I'll just have a couple of chips. You do that 3 times a day. You do that 4 times a day. Guess what? Your calorie deficit is now a calorie surplus. Your fat loss has ceased. So if you're running around, or if you're going to be busier with school, or if you're taking on a couple extra hours doing whatever, dieting down makes it a little bit easier. So if you ever got extra time, which for the fucking college, high school dude, summertime for the most part, plus you get a reasonable winter break, I would say maybe maximize that to chow down, get some food in. It's not it's not the easiest thing in the world to fucking sit in front of like 5 packs of oatmeal and half a pound of ground beef and just fucking, chow down. So if you've got some extra time, use it wisely. And I really can't stress that enough, because if you don't, you're gonna wish you would. It's very easy. It's very immediately gratifying to do nothing. You got nothing to do. You're just chilling. Yeah, it's just fucking playing my phone, which I'm trying to work on. I'm honestly trying to get a little bit better at not just fucking scrolling past TikTok videos and like clips of random like Twitch streamer beef. Uh, I mean, it's just a drain on my mind. I'm like, oh man, holy crap! He threw his PC into the pool. Oh, well, what's he gonna do? Just just random nothingness. But I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to get a little bit better at not totally seeping away hours a day just straight into my phone. I got to get back to my roots. I'm talking the YouTube videos that we'd watch at sleepovers back when I was in fucking middle school. I think it's probably, yeah, I think you're better off watching a 30-minute epic fail compilation than you are just doom scrolling on like TikTok, just because it's not so deep. Like I'm not sure how uh, how aware you are about it, but social media is getting very manipulative. Every video has like random products linked in the bottom, and it's not even because someone wants to like post something funny. It's just because they want you to use their affiliate code, and it's always just kind of gross if you start to watch it. So that's where that's where some plain and simple goofs I find are a little bit more valuable. But post-workout meal, not sure. Not sure what it's going to consist of. Definitely some ground beef because I got that sitting in the fridge. I think it's probably getting close to going bad, so I don't want to fucking waste it. So I think some ground beef followed by or paired with at least a liter, maybe a liter and a half of water with some electrolyte mix added in. And carb wise, I think I'll just have to see. I think I may have kind of inadvertently manifested the meal when I talked about the ground beef and oatmeal. It's a pretty damn good combination. I'm not going totally bodybuilder mode. I mean, I'm not just doing the plain Quaker oats. I'm doing the flavored pack, so it's got a little bit of extra sweetness for it. But chowing down on the more complex carbs, I'm feeling a little bit of a difference. It's not so tough on my stomach. Like I'm pretty resilient. I'm gonna chow down on fucking whatever kind of carb source I can get my hands on, be it ground beef. What am I talking about? Be it like pasta or like noodles or like sweets or breads or rice or anything. It doesn't really get me too bad. But I can tell ever since so this bulk I'm being a little bit more particular about making sure I'm eating. I mean, yeah, I'd pretty much say higher quality calories at least. The protein is always the same. That's always coming from high quality sources: steaks, meats, dairy, eggs, chicken, everything else. But on the carb side of things, I'm trying to ease back and chow down at some stuff that's a little bit lower on the glycemic index. So not so much just handfuls of simple sugars. So as these next few months progress, we'll see just how big of a difference that kind of change is making diet wise. But no end in sight. We're not there yet. If I'm trying to go transatlantic here on my little sailboat, not even halfway. So I've got some more paddling to do. And what I mean by that is I started this bulking phase at a lean and depleted 240. Not like insanely lean. I could have definitely got down to like 235, but there would have been no point because I was just going to pack on that body fat again over the course of this bulking phase. But a reasonably lean and flat 240, so that kind of fluffed up to about a 248, kind of carved up sort of full weight. And now it's floating about. I haven't weighed myself for the last 2 weeks because we've been kind of traveling around. But once I get back to the house and I'll actually use the scale that I've been using, I'm expecting at least 260, 262 morning weight. Empty stomach after using the bathroom, no clothes, no nothing. Which is really the only accurate kind of way to see your change by change progression. Because if you weigh yourself during the day, eh, dude, I mean, the value is simply not up. It's just not accurate. You got clothes on. If you're at the gym, you probably have your shoes on. You just had a whole day's worth of food and water. Your weight's gonna fucking fluctuate. So if you're trying to weigh yourself for tracking your progress, you can do it whenever. I guess it'll still be okay. But I think the most accurate method, right in the morning, go to the bathroom, no clothes. All right, get yourself a scale of a reasonable quality. Keep it next to the sink. Hop on that thing every so often. And if you want to get extra fancy, get one of the ones that comes with an app, and then it's going to automatically like log your weight, and you don't even have to do it yourself. You get to just pull that up and see your trend line over time. But I think that's about enough for me. So awesome arm day. Really could honestly, I don't think I could be fucking happier with it. And there was only 7 sets per muscle, which is about in the realm where, as long as those sets were hard, I feel like I'm fully pumped and fully fatigued, stimulated, and ready to go home and jumpstart the recovery process. So I'll see you tomorrow for legs.